Vic Moore walks into Bruce Lee's Oakland school, undefeated national karate champion, and says, "Your Wing Chun is beautiful but too slow. In real fighting, karate wins." Bruce smiles and says, "Let's test that theory." 7 seconds later, Vic Moore has been hit 4 times and didn't see a single strike coming. He stands there in shock and says, "How? I was watching you, but I didn't see anything move." Bruce's response changes Vic's entire understanding of martial art. "You watched my hand. I read your intention. Movement is seen. Intention is felt." What happens over the next 3 years doesn't just transform Vic Moore. It transforms American karate forever. Oakland, California, June 1964. Yunfen Kung Fu Institute, Bruce Lee's first official school. A small shop on Broadway, 2nd floor, wooden stairs leading up, a simple space, wooden floors, few mirrors, heavy sandbag, Wing Chun dummy, nothing flashy, nothing commercial, just a place to train, to learn, to transform. Vic Moore is climbing those stairs, 26 years old, 1.83 meters tall, 84 kilograms of pure athletic ability, national karate champion, undefeated in tournament competition. His reputation is legendary. His speed is feared. His techniques are textbook perfect. When Vic Moore enters a tournament, everyone else is fighting for second place. He's so dominant, so talented, so superior. But Vic is also curious, intelligent. He's not content with just winning. He wants to understand. He wants to improve. He wants to explore. He's heard of Bruce Lee, this Chinese instructor teaching Kung Fu in Oakland. He's breaking traditional rule. He teaches non-Chinese students. Vic, who claims Wing Chun is superior to other styles, wants to see it for himself. Not to challenge, but to learn, understand, and add new tools to his already impressive arsenal. I'm pausing the video for a second. I spend a lot of time preparing quality videos for you. I only have one request. Would you please like the video and subscribe to my channel? Bruce is teaching when Vic enters. 5 students are doing chi saw exercises, sticky hand, Wing Chun precision training, which Bruce considers essential. The students are focused. They feel each other's energy. They react to pressure. They learn to perceive intention before movement. Bruce corrects, makes adjustments, and teaches the subtle principles that make Wing Chun effective. Bruce sees Vic enter. He recognizes him immediately. Bruce follows tournament karate. He studies it, analyzes it, and understands its limitation while respecting what it is. He knows who Vic Moore is. He knows his record. He knows his reputation. This isn't a random visitor. This is America's best tournament fighter getting into Bruce's school. Bruce walks over, extends his hand, says, "Vic Moore, I've watched your matches. You're impressive, really impressive. What brings you to Oakland?" Vic shakes his hand, says, "Curiosity. I've heard about Wing Chun, about your teaching. Wanted to see it for myself. Maybe learn something new." Bruce appreciates the honesty, the humility. Vic could have come in arrogant, demanding, challenging. Instead, he's here as a student, as someone willing to learn. That's rare, especially from champion, especially from people who've already proven they're the best. Bruce says, "What do you know about Wing Chun?" Vic says, "Not much. I know it's a close-range style, centerline theory, simultaneous attack and defense, economy of motion, but I've never seen it applied in real sparring. Never tested it against resistance. From what I've seen, it looks beautiful, technical, but slow. Too many small movements, too much sensitivity training. In a real fight, fast, chaotic, unpredictable. I don't see how it works against aggressive karate." Bruce nods, doesn't get defensive, says, "That's a common perception. Wing Chun looks slow because we train slow. We drill sensitivity. We practice control. But that's training methodology. That's not application. The actual fighting is different, much different. Would you like to see?" Vic says, "Absolutely. That's why I'm here." Bruce says, "Let me ask you something first. In your karate, what makes you successful? What's your edge?" Big thing says, "Speed. I'm faster than most heavyweight. I see openings early. React before opponents fully commit. I control distance. Keep them where I want them. When they attack, I'm already countering. When they defend, I'm already attacking. I stay ahead of the action." Bruce says, "Perfect answer. You understand your success. Now let me show you why that won't work against Wing Chun. Not because you're not skilled, because the game is different. The principles are different. What you rely on, seeing openings, reacting to movement, controlling distance, those work in karate versus karate. But Wing Chun operates on different information. We're not watching your movement. We're feeling your intention." Vic looks intrigued, confused, says, "Feeling intention? What does that mean?" Bruce says, "Let me demonstrate. We'll do light contact sparring. You use your karate, your speed, your technique, everything everything that makes you a champion. Try to hit me. I'll show you the difference between watching and feeling. They move to the center of the training space. Bruce's students stop their drill, form a circle, watching. This is rare, special. Their teacher is about to demonstrate principles against a national champion. This is real-time education. Vic drops into his fighting stance, tournament stance, side-facing, hands up, light on his feet. The stance that's won him dozens of championships. His stance that's never failed him. Bruce stands differently. Doesn't take a traditional stance. Just stand, relax, arms loose, hands at center line, weight balance, looks casual, almost vulnerable. This makes Vic uncertain. Bruce should be guarding, should be protecting, should be ready. Vic decides to test the water, throws a quick jab, fast, control, just to see how Bruce reacts, to gauge his speed, his reflexes, his defensive ability. The jab shoots out, heading toward Bruce's face. Textbook technique, perfect form. Bruce moves, not away from the jab, toward it, closing distance. His right hand comes up, not blocking the jab, intercepting it, redirecting it. Simultaneously, his left hand shoots forward. Straight punch, heading toward Vic's face. The movements are simultaneous. Defense and attack happening at the same instant. Vic's jab is redirected offline. Bruce's punch stops 1 inch from Vic's nose. That's one. Big retract. Surprise. That was faster than he expected. Smoother, more efficient. He commits more. Throws across. His power hand. His knockout punch. The punch that's ended fight. Bruce slips it. Minimal movement. 3 inches. The cross passes his head. Bruce's right hand is already moving. Straight punch to Vic's sternum. Stops 1 inch from contact. Vic didn't see it coming. Was focused on his own attack. Didn't register Bruce's counter until it arrived. That's 2. If you've ever been so focused on attacking that you missed what's coming back at you, drop a comment below. That's what's happening to Vic right now. Vic is frustrated now, confused. His techniques aren't landing. Bruce's counters are appearing from nowhere. He decides to use his speed advantage. Throws a combination. Jab cross hook. Fast. Aggressive. Multiple attacks to overwhelm Bruce's defense. The combination flies out. All 3 punches perfectly timed. Perfectly executed. Tournament winning technique. Bruce doesn't retreat. Doesn't back up. Steps forward. Into the combination. His hands move. Not blocking each punch individually. Controlling Vic's center. Trapping both Vic's arms briefly. Simultaneously delivering a palm strike to Vic's chest. Then immediately releasing. Vic's combination continues, but Bruce isn't there anymore. Vic's punches find air. Bruce's strike found target. Stopped 1 inch away, but the control was absolute, complete, undeniable. That's 3. Big reset. Breathing harder now, not from exertion, from mental effort, from trying to understand what's happening. How is Bruce doing this? How is he so fast? How is he seeing everything? How is he countering from positions that shouldn't allow counter? This isn't what Vic expected, isn't what karate prepared him for. Vic tries one more time. His best technique, a reverse punch, driven from the back leg. His trademark move, his most powerful weapon. He commits fully, all his weight, all his speed, all his championship experience channeled into one perfect technique. The punch launches. Fast, powerful, devastating if it lands. Bruce moves before the punch fully launches. He's not reacting to the punch. He's reacting to Vic's intention, to the shift in weight, to the subtle setup that happens before the technique. Bruce steps offline. Vic's power punch travels through empty space. Bruce's hand appears on Vic's shoulder. Light touch, but the implication is clear. Strike to the neck, strike to the temple, strike to any vulnerable target. Bruce had the position, had the opening, had the victory. That's 4. 7 seconds. From Vic throwing his first jab to Bruce demonstrating 4 counters. 7 seconds to show a national karate champion that his speed means nothing if someone is operating on different information. 7 seconds to prove that watching movement is slower than feeling intention. 7 seconds that change Vic Moore's entire understanding of martial art. Vic steps back, breathing hard, not tired, overwhelmed. He says, "How? I was watching you. Watching your hand, your feet, your shoulders. I saw nothing. No telegraphing. No setup. You were just suddenly there, countering, controlling. How is that possible?" Bruce says, "You were watching. That's the problem. Watching is visual. Visual information has to travel from your eyes to your brain to your body. That takes time. Not much time. Fractions of a second. But in fighting, fractions of a second matter. By the time you see my movement and react, I'm already hitting you." Bruce says, "Wing Chun doesn't rely on watching. We rely on feeling, touch, pressure, fire, sensation. When my hands connect with yours, even briefly, I'm reading information. Your intention, your commitment, your direction. Touch information travels faster than visual information. Much faster. By the time you decide to punch, I've already felt your weight shift, your muscle tension, your intention. I'm responding to that, not to your actual movement. That's why you can't see it. That's why you can't defend it. Vic is fascinated. His entire martial arts education is being recontextualized. Everything he thought he knew about fighting is being challenged. Not dismissed, challenged, expanded, made more complex, more nuanced, more sophisticated. Vic says, but how do you train that? How do you develop that sensitivity? That's not something karate teaches. We train eyes, train reaction, train speed, but not touch, not feeling, not this. Sticky hand. The drills you saw my students doing when you walked in. That's not just exercise. That's not just warm-up. That's the core of Wing Chun. Training your arms to feel, to sense, to read information through touch. Most people think Chisaw is about technique. It's not. It's about developing sensitivity, developing the ability to feel intention before it becomes movement. Bruce says, your karate is excellent, really excellent. You're probably the best tournament fighter I've seen. But tournament fighting has limitations. Trained you to rely on vision, on distance, on timing based on what you see. That works in tournament. Everyone operates on the same information. But against someone using different information, someone feeling instead of watching, your advantages disappear. Vic says without hesitation, teach me. I want to learn this. I want to add this to my karate. I don't want to abandon what I know. Want to expand it. Add this sensitivity, this feeling, this different way of fighting. Bruce smiles, says, that's exactly the right approach. I'm not asking you to stop being a karate fighter. I'm offering to make you a more complete fighter. Keep your karate, keep your speed, keep your technique. Just add this. Add sensitivity, add centerline, add simultaneous defense and attack. Combine them, create something new, something specifically yours. What happens next isn't 7 seconds. 3 years. 3 years of intensive training. Vic Moore becomes Bruce Lee's student. Trains multiple times per week. Learning Wing Chun principle. Learning to feel instead of just watch. Learning to operate on different information. The training is humbling. Vic is used to being the best, used to mastering techniques quickly. But this is different. This requires unlearning, requires rewiring neural pathways, requires developing sensitivity that takes years to cultivate. Bruce is patient, demanding but supportive. He sees Vic's potential, sees what Vic could become if he integrates Wing Chun principles with his karate base. Bruce isn't trying to make Vic into a Wing Chun fighter. He's trying to make Vic into a hybrid, someone who can fight at distance with karate, fight close with Wing Chun, someone who can watch and feel, react and intercept, someone operating on multiple levels simultaneously. The training transforms Vic, not just his technique, his understanding, his philosophy, his approach. He returns to tournaments, still wins, still dominates, but now he's winning differently, faster, more efficiently, more completely. His opponents don't understand what changed. Just know that Vic Moore got better, impossibly better. He was already the best. Now he's something beyond that. Other fighters notice. Ask Vic what happened, what changed. Vic tells them about Bruce, about Wing Chun, about sensitivity training, about learning to feel instead of just watch. Some fighters are interested, want to learn. Vic brings them to Bruce. Bruce teaches them. The group grows. Some of the best karate fighters in America are now cross-training with Bruce Lee, learning principles that traditional karate doesn't teach, creating hybrid style, evolving, adapting, improving. But Bruce teaches more than technique, teaches philosophy, teaches approach, teaches the Jeet Kune Do mindset that's forming in his own practice. He tells Vic, don't be a Wing Chun fighter, don't be a karate fighter, be a fighter. Use whatever works, discard whatever doesn't. Don't be loyal to style, be loyal to effectiveness. Your karate gives you things Wing Chun doesn't. Your Wing Chun gives you things karate doesn't. Combine them. That's evolution. That's how martial arts should work. Vic absorbs all of it, not just the physical training, the mental approach, the philosophical framework. Bruce isn't just teaching him to fight better. He's teaching him to think better, to question everything, to test everything, to evolve constantly, to never settle, to never stop learning. These lessons shape Vic's entire career, his entire life. In 1967, Vic Moore opens his own school, teaches what he calls Moore's Karate, but everyone who trains there knows it's karate integrated with Wing Chun principles. Teaches sensitivity drill, teaches his students to feel, not just watch. He credits Bruce constantly, tells every student about those 7 seconds in Oakland, about being the national champion who got schooled by Bruce Lee, about learning humility, about learning that being the best in one context doesn't mean knowing everything.
In 1973 1970, Bruce dies.
Vic is devastated. They've been training together for 9 years. Bruce has become more than Vic's teacher. He's become his friend, his brother, his philosophical guide. Vic attends the funeral, stands with thousands of mourners, thinks about those 7 seconds, about 3 years of training, about a friendship built on mutual respect and constant learning. At the funeral, Vic speaks, says, "Bruce Lee gave me 7 seconds that showed me I knew nothing, then gave me 3 years that taught me everything. Not just about fighting, about learning, about humility, about evolution." Bruce didn't want students who copied him. He wanted students who exceeded him, who took what he taught and made it better, who evolved beyond him. That's what he gave me. Not technique, permission to evolve, permission to question, permission to create something new. Vic continues teaching for 40 more years, develops his hybrid system, influences thousands of students. Many become champion, many become teachers themselves. The principles spread. Wing Chun sensitivity integrated into American karate. Bruce's influence spreading through Vic's teaching, through Vic's student, through students of students, an endless chain of evolution and adaptation. In 2010, Vic Moore is inducted into the Martial Arts Hall of Fame. Lifetime achievement. At the ceremony, he's asked, "What was the most important moment in your martial arts career?" Vic doesn't hesitate, says, 7 seconds in Oakland, 1964, when Bruce Lee showed me that I was blind, that I was only using half my sense, that I was relying on eyes and ignoring touch, that I was watching movement instead of feeling intention. Those 7 seconds destroyed my confidence and saved my career, made me realize being a champion doesn't mean being complete, made me hungry to learn, made me understand that martial arts is infinite. You never arrive, you just keep evolving. The interviewer asks, "Could you have beaten Bruce in a real fight?" Vic says, "No, not then, not ever, and I was national champion, undefeated, at my peak." But Bruce was operating on a different level, not just technically, philosophically. He understood fighting at a depth I never reached. Could I beat him in a karate tournament? Maybe. Point sparring with rules he's not training for? Possibly. But in a real fight, no rules, continuous action, Bruce wins every time. Not because he was stronger or faster, though he was faster, because he was smarter, more complete, more aware. He was fighting on multiple levels simultaneously. I was fighting on one level. That's not a fair fight. Vic says, "But you know what? I'm grateful it wasn't fair. Grateful he showed me there were levels I hadn't reached. Grateful he didn't just beat me, taught me, made me better, made me his student instead of his victim." That's mastery. That's what separates good teachers from great teachers. Good teachers prove they're better. Great teachers make you better. Bruce made me better, made me complete, made me understand that being the best means constantly learning, constantly evolving, constantly adding tools. In 2015, a filmmaker makes a documentary about Bruce Lee's influence on American martial arts, interviews dozens of people. One entire section is dedicated to Vic Moore, to those 7 seconds, to 3 years of training, to a national champion who had the humility to become a student, who had the courage to admit he didn't know everything, who had the wisdom to seek knowledge even when already successful. The documentary shows footage, old footage, from 1964. Bruce and Vic demonstrating Chi-Saw. Vic is awkward, tense, trying too hard. Bruce is patient, correcting, teaching. The contrast is stark, but the dedication is visible. Vic isn't going through the motion. He's genuinely trying to learn, genuinely trying to understand, genuinely trying to evolve.
Vic Moore dies in 2016.
78 years old. His obituary mentions his championship, his school, his influence, but the longest section is about his relationship with Bruce Lee. About 7 seconds that changed his life. About 3 years that changed American karate. About a friendship built on mutual respect and constant learning. About a legacy that extends far beyond trophies and titles. That's legacy, not in being undefeated, not in winning championship, not in being the fastest or strongest or most skilled, in being willing to learn, willing to grow, willing to evolve, willing to admit that even at the top there's higher to climb. Vic Moore was national champion, undefeated, the best, but he walked into Bruce's school and said, "Teach me." That courage, that humility, that wisdom, that's what made him great. Not the championship, the willingness to become a student again. Vic Moore knew he was the best karate fighter in America, but he was smart enough to know that best in one context doesn't mean best in every context. Smart enough to seek knowledge outside his style. Smart enough to be humble. Smart enough to evolve. That's why he's remembered. That's why his story mattered. Not because he was undefeated, because he was teachable. Even at the top, even as champion, even as the best, he remained a student. That's the real lesson. That's the real legacy. That's what 7 seconds created and 50 years proved.